Good morning, everyone. I wanted to have a quick chat with you today about one of my favourite topics, which is toxic overload. Now, when we talk about toxic overload, there's so many different angles to come from on this topic. But the one that I wanted to have and explore about today is the emotional side. So, how do we become emotionally toxic, and what does it do for us, or what doesn't it do for us, or how does it affect us? When we look at our emotions, we've got happy, sad, and everything in between. Everything between love and hate, I would say. And every emotion that we experience actually changes our chemical balance in our body. When we look at being happy and in love and in excitement and joy and all those positive, happy emotions, they trigger off happy hormones in our body. The oxytocin, the serotonin, the beautiful balancing hormones. But then we get to the stress, the anxiety, the depression even. What do they do to our body, and how does it affect us? We know that things like the adrenaline gets released, the serotonin doesn't get produced as much. And when we look at the serotonin, for example, serotonin is a hormone that balances our mood. So it's a mood balancer. Now, about 80% of serotonin is produced in the digestive tract. So not actually in our hormonal centers or in our brain, but in our digestive tract. So what happens here? It ends up to be like this vicious cycle. We get stressed, our body tries to balance itself. We continue on this stressful path, and our body has a toxic overload because we're constantly putting our body off balance. We're constantly putting the toxic emotions into our body, and it can't balance itself out. So that's when we do end up with the physical side effects. So when our chemical imbalance is wrong, what happens? Well, yes, we start to be diagnosed with clinical anxiety, clinical depression, which these days is so easy, but we won't go there. But then we look at the inflammation that starts to occur in our body. In the digestive tract, for example, we look at the inflamed stomach, the inflammation in our large and small intestines and in our colon, and the physical effects that we feel from this inflammation: bloating, excess gas, constipation, diarrhea, sometimes both. One day this, the other day that. And the thing that comes out of that is the food intolerance, the food allergies if we don't address it soon enough, and even onto the verge of the anti-inflammatory diseases, so the autoimmune diseases. So what can we do? What can we do? What can you do to stop the toxic overload when it comes to emotions flowing in and out of your life?